Welcome to today's edition of SOP Online Conversation. Wonderful. It's exciting to be here this evening. It can be morning where you are, or afternoon. It's exciting to be here today. We have had, we've been on a journey. We've been on a marathon since the first Monday in the month of June. And we have had four SOP Online conversations, all geared towards celebrating fathers. And it has been a wonderful experience. We have had an amazing experience. I don't know about you, I really want to appreciate and celebrate as many of us that has been a part of this marathon, this SAP Online Conversation Marathon since the beginning of June. We're climaxing today, and I believe that it's going to be an amazing time we're going to have together. First of all, I want to appreciate as many of us that are joining. You can, yes, thank you so much, Itoma, Gloria, Sareme. I can see you. Thank you for always be joining me on this conversation. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate. We have had amazing guests in this period of celebrating our fathers. We've had amazing and wonderful guests from Reverend Chima Uchemba, who talked about the father-daughter bond, to TJ Chunu, the teens coach, that talked about parenting your child in the digital age. Then we went had a conversation with Dr. Emmanuel Ape, who talked about maintaining your health as a father. And last week we had Alexander Amushe, who talked about fathering your children with the heart of the father. Today we're going to be talking about fatherhood, all about fatherhood. And I believe it's going to be enlightening, it's going to be educating. I believe it's going to give you solutions to probably challenges you've been going through. It's going to be inspiring. I believe that we're going to receive light today. The essence of these conversations is for us to receive light. It's for us to be better parents. It's for us to be more proactive, be more intentional in our parenting journey. And I believe that that is what these conversations have been doing for us. Let's take our time. If you've missed any conversation in the month of June, or even in 2024, you can go back to our Facebook page, which is School of Parenting SOP, and you can find every conversation there. You can take your time, you can go through them. You have questions, you can send a DM. You have contributions, you can send a DM. That is the essence of these things, so that we don't just become hearers, but we are also doers. Because what's the essence of knowledge if you don't apply the knowledge? Wisdom is knowledge applied. So it's very important that everything we hear on these conversations, that we take action plans. We have action plans. What are the actions you're going to take after the conversation? So we're not just excited and we say, wow, wonderful conversation. Wow, I received light. What's the use of light if it doesn't eradicate the darkness in a particular area of your life? So when we go through these conversations, let's have action points. What are we going to do better as parents? What are we going to do to improve our bonding with our children? What are we going to do to be able to be more successful in our parenting journey? So welcome to today's edition of SOP Online Conversation. Now let's talk fatherhood. Thank you, everyone. Now, we have had a lot of things being said the past 4 Mondays. I'm going to reiterate some of them, and I'm going to say some other things. And I believe it's going to be an amazing conversation. Now, there's a quote I saw when I was preparing, and the quote said, "A dad isn't defined as the man who makes the child, but rather the man who raises and loves the child with all his heart through anything. Blood doesn't always make a man a dad. Being a dad comes from the heart. So the fact that you give birth to a child does not necessarily mean you are a father, does not necessarily mean you are a dad. It comes from the heart. Now, fatherhood is more than bringing children to life. Anybody can impregnate a woman and have a child. Fatherhood goes beyond the fact that you are involved in the process of bringing a child into life. It goes beyond that. That is just the beginning phase in the journey of fatherhood. That should be like the starting point in your journey of fatherhood. After the child comes to life, what then? What are your responsibilities? I do also want to celebrate every father you're doing it's a lot of responsibility to be a father. But I believe that when you venture on a journey, you must have first sat down and consider the cost. So fatherhood should not jump on anybody. It is a decision we should make. And when we enter into this journey, I believe that there is the ability to be able to go through the journey and get to the destination, especially if we put a lot of intentionality, especially if we are deciding to be responsible. Now, fatherhood has to do with inspiration. Fatherhood has to do with positive influence. I think one of our guests talked about fatherhood being influence. I think that was Dr. Emmanuel Akwe. Fatherhood has to do with positive influence. It is more of responsibility than a title. The fact that your children call you dad or call you father or call you papa or popsy, whatsoever they call you, does not necessarily mean that you are a father. Doesn't. It doesn't necessarily mean you are a father. So you need to take responsibility. You need to take responsibility. That's what fatherhood is all about, taking responsibility. Now you have a responsibility to inspire and influence positively. Now, Alexander Amuche last week said that father means source. And when you talk about source, you're talking about the original. Now, when we talk about father, we look at our father, our heavenly father, is the source of life. Now, as a father, you are a reflection of the heavenly father. So God expects that you are a transmission of the person, the purpose, the character of God to your children. You should be the first interpretation of God to your children. And you can't joke with that. You are the first interpretation of God to your children. And that is something you cannot joke with. It is so critical. Now, as a source, I'm going to talk about some few things that, like say, the different dimensions of fatherhood. Now, as a source, you are a provider. You know, a lot of times you say fathers are provider, and the first thing that comes to our mind is that the father should provide the money. Provision or the responsibility of being a provider goes beyond financial provision. It goes beyond providing clothes. It goes beyond providing for their education. It goes beyond all that. That you are providing the food, the clothing, the education in your home doesn't mean that you have fulfilled all your responsibility as a father, as a provider. You know, when the Bible says in Philippians 4:19, it said, the Lord shall supply all your needs according to his riches and glory. God expects that as a father here on earth, that you are able to provide for the needs of your children. You are able. You know, someone said something. He said, my children or your children didn't choose to be born. You chose to have them. They owe you nothing. You owe them supplies of all their needs. They didn't choose to be born. No child knocked on your door and said, have me. We decided to have the children. So we are responsible to cater for their needs. And that is why I think when Reverend Chima Ochemba was talking, there's something he said, that your children should not be your retirement plan. So you don't have children because your motivation or the essence for having children is because they are your motivation, your retirement plans. You are thinking, when I'm old, okay, there is someone that will take care of me. And most times, because we think our children are a means to an end, a means to satisfaction financially, a means to wealth, a means to comfort, most of us hold our children into the wrong lifestyle. Most of us manipulate, cajole, force our children into the wrong way of living because we see them as a means to an end. Your children are not a means to an end. Your children are a gift from God to you, and you decided to have them. Now, there's this Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it talks about the first level, which is the physiological needs that has to do with food, the clothing, that has to do with providing sleep, shelter, water, and it goes ahead to the security and the safety needs that has to do with you being providing health, providing social ability, providing security for your family, and then it goes to the needs of love and belonging, connection, emotional support. Now, as a father, it is important that you provide for the physiological needs of your children. You provide safety and security needs, and you provide for love and belonging. Now, there are other needs of humans, and it goes to the point when it talks about the need for self-esteem, the need for self-actualization. And I talked to myself, and the children are provided, or an individual is provided with physiological needs, is provided with security and safety, have the sense that I'm secured, have the sense that I am covered. And an individual and a child is provided with love and belonging. That child, automatically, the need of self-esteem and self-confidence is met. And it gets to a point that the need of self-actualization comes into play. So as a father, you are expected to provide for the needs of your children. I'm not talking about wants, the needs of your children. So it surpasses food, clothes. It surpasses, it's beyond that. So you can't say that I'm a father, I have provided your food, I have tried. You have tried to an extent, but it goes beyond the provision of food, of water, of shelter, of money for school fees. You are to provide emotional support. You are to provide a shoulder for them to lean on. You are to provide a listening ear for them when they need to talk. You are to provide yourself for your children. So it is very important that we understand that provision goes beyond material things. You have to provide for them a spiritual covering. I will get to that point. So provision, being a provider, is a lot. Now you need, as a father, to do, I would say, do all that is legal to provide for your household. Now laziness cannot be tolerated in fatherhood. Laziness cannot be tolerated in fatherhood. You can't say, no. Laziness cannot be tolerated in fatherhood. You have a huge responsibility of your child. I do not subscribe to fathers that decide to sit and allow the mothers to do everything to cater for the family financially, cater emotionally, cater in all dimensions. I know a lot of us go through phases and it looks like there's nothing wrong. A man may lose his job, but when you're comfortable in that sphere, it is not acceptable. Laziness is not tolerated in fatherhood. Our Heavenly Father is not a lazy father. He provides for our needs. Now, the Bible says something. Now, I will refer to the Bible because it's one of the greatest books that I refer to, that I read. Now, it says that it's a sin. A man that cannot provide for his household is worse than infidel. So you must be able to provide for your household. It is key. Now, you provide just like your father provides. Who else will you resemble now? You have to resemble God. You have to be a reflection of him. So therefore, if he's a provider, you ought to be a provider. Now, there are a lot of researches have gone, researches have been done. There are a lot of hypotheses that have been given theories. Now, I'm going to talk a little about a hypothesis that was given when it comes to provision of emotional support and presence of fathers to daughters. Now, a research was carried out between the relationship between young girls, especially with their father, and the influence it has on their development. It was carried out by university, and they found that when there is positive relationship between parents and their girls during the first 5 years, these girls tend to experience late puberty compared to girls that have more distant relationship with their parents. Now, they tend to say that these girls enter puberty earlier. But it shows, it's an hypothesis, but come to think of it. Now, the father's involvement, according to the research, rather than the mothers, which seem to be paramount to the age of the girl's development, is paramount the age of the girl's development. Now, the researchers found that girls raised in family homes experience relatively early pubertal timing. Now, one of the theories they use to explain this is that there's something called pheromones that are secreted by the fathers, and in a in a family where the father is absent or there's a dysfunctional father relationship, these pheromones may be produced by other male adults and it may trigger early puberty. But when a father is present and they have elder relationship with their daughters, it is produced by the father and it tends to inhibit puberty and the child does not enter into early puberty. Now, the truth is that most girls, when early puberty comes, it comes with a lot of confusion. Some girls get depressed. It comes with a lot of changes in their body and the rest. Now, but it is an hypothesis. And a lot of things have not been proven. But the essence of sharing this is that you can imagine the strong correlation between a father providing emotional support, providing presence for a child, the extent it goes in affecting a child. It is very critical. Now, while growing up, it got to a point in my life, I think before I entered into secondary school, my mom and my dad got separated. So it was a lot. It was a lot. Growing up was a lot. Going through the boarding school, going to the university, it was a lot. When I was growing up, I used to be a very, what's the word, shy person. And it may be linked to maybe a low self-esteem. But come to think of it, going by a lot of knowledge, I feel that if I had an elder relationship with my dad and I had a dad that was present, probably some of the challenges I went through, some of the issues of low self-esteem, low confidence, not being sure of myself, wouldn't have happened. There are a lot of things you will avert in the life of your children as a father if you provide presence. A lot if you provide presence. Now, number two is a protector. You are a protector. You are a protector. You are to shield your children. Now, your children may go through high waters. Your children may go through a lot, but you are to shield and protect your children. You are responsible to protect yourself. Now, protecting yourself is key. Because when you protect yourself, for example, your health, you elongate your, what's the word now? Your lifespan, and you are able to be present to raise your children. It is very critical, and that's what Dr. Emmanuel Akpe talked about. And I think that was the second conversation. Now, you are required to protect yourself and protect your territory. That is your family. You are the man. You protect your territory. No one has the right to invade your territory. No one has the right to invade and afflict your home. No one has the right to invade and cause havoc. You are a protector. You protect yourself and you protect your territory. Now, one of the ways you protect your children is stop labeling your children. What do I mean by labeling your children? Don't give your children names that do not belong to them based on the behavior you see them portray. It is very important you don't label your children. You can't see your child and just tell a child, you are an idiot. I don't even know how come I fathered a child like you. My God. You don't label your children. Reverend Chima Ochemba said something in the first conversation, and he said, a father's voice joins itself to the DNA of a child. So the words you speak out of your mouth, they are not ordinary words, they are life. When you speak words to your children, you are speaking life or you are speaking death. So you choose. And one way you protect your children is by deciding the choice of words you use for your children. You don't label your children, no matter how angry you are. You must be careful the words you say because your words carry life. Your words carry life. They are critical. Now, you have to protect and not inflict pain on your children and even on your wife. Now, it is very critical. As a father, you are a protector and not an inflictor of pain. You are not. Your authority as a father is not to control and inflict pain. Your strength is for you to be a doer and to fulfill your assignment and not to inflict pain on your family. You are to protect. You are to serve like a mother. What's the word now? Like a mother that brings her cubs together, maybe a lioness that brings her. You are a protector, not an inflictor of pain. Pain may not necessarily be physical. Pain can be emotional. Pain can be psychological. You are to be a protector. Now, your strength is, number one, not for you to control everyone and not be under control. Now, it is very common, not only to fathers, even mothers, parents. You want to control the children, but you don't want to be under control. That is not the essence of your strength as a father. You are not above the law in your home. If you set the rules and you set the law, you are binded by the law in your home. So you are not, your strength is not just to control, and you're not under control yourself. For example, you decide that during what's the word now? Family dinner, no one is allowed to use their gadgets, be it phones, iPads, whatsoever. And you decide that I am above the law, so I can control every other person, but I cannot be subject to the law. That is not the reason for your strength. You know, it says, train up a child in the way he should go. Now, Charles Fogan said something. He said, train up the child in the way he should go, but be sure that you go that way yourself. So it's not about giving the road. You say, okay, my child, walk in this path. You have to take that path. Someone said something that train up a child in the way he should go, but be sure that you have gone through that path and you're coming back to take the child. That is who a leader is, and a father is a leader. So it is very critical. Your strength is not for you to be in control of anyone and you're not under control. It is for you to be under order. You set the rules and you're accountable. As a father, you should be accountable. Now, your capacity, your strength is your capacity to withhold your opinion sometimes and listen. Now, first, probably to your wife, listen to people, mentors over your life, listen to pastors that you respect over your life, attend seminars, seek knowledge and counsel. That is what your strength is for. Now, being a man or being a father doesn't mean that you always be right. Doesn't mean that you know it all. There's sometimes that you need to come down and listen. Some of us fathers have wives that have genuine ideas, genuine wisdom that can be applied for the betterment of your life and your family. But because of the fact that I am the father, you decide not to listen. Your strength is for you to calm down sometimes and listen. It is very critical. You must be open to learning. Calm down and listen and learn. You are not an island of all knowledge. You don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. Now, TJ Trinu said something during the conversation we had. I think that was the third. Was that the second conversation? I think that was the second. Dr. Emmanuel Akpa was the third. And he said, be open to learning. You must be ready to unlearn, to learn, and to relearn. Be open to learning. Some of us have been using the same tactics to raise our children. It is not working for you. Why don't you change and listen? So let us be open to learning. You know, Dr. Emmanuel Akpe said in his conversation that everything should not be free. Be ready to pay sometimes to learn. But the ultimate end will be gain. So as fathers, it is critical that you understand that your strength is not for you to be in control and you're not under control. Your strength is for you to be in order, to be accountable. And your strength is for you to be able to withhold your opinion sometimes and listen. And listen. Now protect your children from the chaos in this world. There is chaos in the words. We can't deny the fact. But how do you protect? I'm talking about being a protector. How do you protect your children from the chaos in this world? By instilling in them values. Values. And this will take me to you being a leader as a father. You are a leader. Now, leaders lead by example, not just by words of mouth, but by actions and by their doings. You don't give the instructions and you don't walk the instructions yourself. So as a leader, you lead by example. You lead by example. The greatest form, one of the greatest ways you can teach your children is by example. Because they observe. The theory of social learning, people learn by observing, by imitating what they see. Your children learn a lot by what they see you do. And sometimes we are wondering, why is this child behaving like this? Why is this child like this? You have modeled a lifestyle and they have copied it. So you are a leader and you lead by example. A father is a mirror. You reflect God to your people. You reflect God to your family. You reflect God to those around you. You are a mirror. What image are you reflecting to your child? What image are you reflecting to your children? You feel it doesn't matter. Now you hold your children accountable. You give them instructions. But are you bounded by that instruction? Do you model the life that you instruct your children to live? There are no double standards when it comes to parenting. Do you model the lifestyle you instruct your children to live? You tell your child to read books. Do you read books? You tell your children not to lie. Do you tell a lie? And sometimes you do that in their face, and you wonder when they tell a lie to you, you are angry, you are offended, you punish them. Ask yourself, did they not see you do it? They copied what they saw. You are a leader. Now, fathers are the central figures in the identity formation of a child. That was said by Dorothy Mecker. You are a central figure in the identity formation of your child. It is critical. You form. You are important. You are a major pillar in forming the identity of a child. Reverend Chima Ochemba said something in the first conversation. He said, fathers give their children definition. You define who they are based on what connection you have had from God, what God has told you. What is your definition of your child? What identity are you making your child believe that they have? You are a leader. You know, when the Bible talks about Abraham in Genesis 18:19, he said, God said, I know Abraham, that he will command his children and his household in my way. He knew. And he didn't just do it by modes of mouth. He did it by exemplifying the life. The life you want your children to live, do you live the life? Do you? You want them to be hardworking. Are you hardworking? Or they wake up in the morning and see that you're lazing around, you're not doing anything. You want them to be punctual. And every morning you are the one that they have to wake with mortar and pestle to get up from the bed and take them to school. And you say, you have to be a punctual child. You have to go to school early. Are you modeling the life you want your children to emulate? Critical. Critical. Very critical. And you know the truth is that you are a central figure in the formation of the identity of your child. And the identity of your child will always impact their behavior. Our children will behave in a certain way because they feel that is who they are. That is their perception of who they are. And their perception has been given to them by us, primarily their parents. What are you modeling in your home? What? You are a leader. You lead by being one, a role model. You live by being a role model. You must be tough on yourself to live right. You must be tough on yourself to live right. Teach your sons to be responsible by being responsible. Teach the love and respect. Teach them love and respect by showing them how to love and how to respect. Now, teach your sons how to respect people, how to respect women. You teach them by what they see. Now, a father abuses his wife. A father inflicts physical pain on his wife. How will that child learn love and respect? For probably the woman is going to marry. There can be a flip when knowledge comes into that child as they grow up. But what they see, they model. Teach boundaries and respect. Teach vulnerability. Teach vulnerability. Now teach your children from your mistakes. Be vulnerable. When you are vulnerable, you accept your mistake. It is not, what I say, it is not you coming down or belittling yourself when as a father you accept you have made a mistake and you apologize to your child. It is pride for you to have made a mistake and you refuse to apologize to your child. So it is so critical that you get to the point that you teach vulnerability to your children. Learn to admit wrong, apologize for wrong, teach for your mistakes, because when they learn from your mistakes, they will not make the same mistake themselves. So being a role model, you need to learn to teach. You must walk the talk. That's what Alexander Amushi said last week. You must walk the talk. Teach self-control. Teach time management and punctuality. So critical. It is very important that we do this. Very critical. Now, you are a leader, like I said. You lead by being a role model. The second way you lead is by inculcating values in your children through love. Inculcating values in your children through love. I listened to someone recently, Taiwo Akilabi, and he said something so critical that stuck. He said, love to children means appreciation and attention. Zig Ziglar said, and I say it a lot on this conversation, that to a child, love is spelled time, and that is attention. Time. It is beyond what you provide. Your presence is more important than the present you present to your children. It is critical. Now, you must inculcate values in your children. Do not leave the job of inculcating values to your children to the school. It is your primary responsibility. You are their first teacher. As a parent, you are the first teacher of your child. Now, values are passed through deliberate teachings and actions, and both requires time. Now, values are passed through deliberate teachings and through actions, and both requires time. It is critical that you pass values, and they are passed through deliberate teachings and actions, and both requires time. Inculcate values in your children through love. Now, most times we are so concerned about the schools our children go to because we feel that it's very important. Yeah, you should be concerned about the school your children go to. But when you have the mindset that everything that your children need to learn, every value they need to learn, every value they need to pick up must be instilled by the school, you're making a mistake. A terrible mistake. You have a job to do as a parent, and you cannot fail to do that job. You must inculcate values in your children. Now, I ask how many of us have family visions? How many of us have family values? What value does your family stand by? The father is responsible for churning out the value system of the home, and everybody aligns. We have a huge responsibility as fathers, a huge responsibility, and we must wake up. Now, inculcating values through love, I said love to children means appreciation and attention, as quoted by Taiwo Akilabi. Now, appreciation, what does it mean to appreciate? It means to value. When you appreciate someone or you appreciate something, you value that thing or you value that someone. Appreciate who your child is. Appreciate the little wins they have. Appreciate their effort. Don't always be critical about everything. Don't always be judgmental. Don't always have the mindset that in my time, when I was doing this thing, I did it better. This is not your time. Appreciate your child's little win. Appreciate the effort they put into that work. Do not always be critical and criticize. It is critical. Do not always be critical and criticize your children. No. Appreciate what they do. Appreciate. Appreciation is key. Appreciation is key. Number 2 is give attention. Convenience is not in the vocabulary of parenthood. I will say it again. Convenience is not in the vocabulary of parenthood. Sacrifice and intentionality is. You must wake up. Parenting is not always convenient. There is a place of sacrifice and there's a place of intentionality. We must wake up as parents, as fathers, as mothers. Love is more than an emotion. It is a choice. It is a choice to commit. It is a choice to work, to put in the work. And as fathers, we must put in the work. We must put in the work. It is so critical that we put in the work as fathers. Now, Coach Wendy Oluge said something. The first I heard this thing, I laughed. And she said, I love my child. It's not a parenting strategy. So when you're inculcating values to your child, most people tend to, the first thing that comes to their mind is that, I love my child. It's not a parenting strategy. You love your child. How? You love your child. How do you show you love your child? How? And that is by giving attention, by showing appreciation, by modeling the right kind of lifestyle, by showing them the way that they should go and walking in that path. I listened to someone and he was saying something about Nelson Mandela. I was quoting from the book, what's the book? The Long Walk to Freedom. And I will quote what he said Mandela said. He said, Mandela was saying, to be the father of a nation is a great joy. But to be the father of my family and my children is a greater joy, and is a joy I have far little of. You don't want to arrive at your destination and you find out that all you have is emptiness. You don't want to get there. And you find out that everything, you are empty. You are. You must give attention to the children God has given to you. You must give attention. It is very critical. Create memories with your children. Create memories with your children. I listened again and there was a quote by Montessori, and he said that what you do to a child does not stay in their memory but stay in their souls. So when you spend time with your children and you're doing an amazing job with them, what you do with them stays in their soul. It stays, it sticks. There are a lot of things that happen in your life between your father and you that you cannot forget. You don't want your children to remember you, to have negative experiences of you. That is not what you want. So you must take time to be critical, and you must love and love well. Appreciate, pay attention, or give attention. As a father, you are a teacher. It is part of being a leader. It is part. Take responsibility for what you want your child to learn. Don't assume. Assumption is the lowest form. The lowest form of you being a parent. You just assume that your child knows everything. Is low. And I feel that is irresponsibility. You assume. You should know it now. How can they know it when you don't teach them? Take responsibility for teaching your child what they should learn. You assume. Are you not supposed to know this? Are you not 14 years? How come you don't know this thing? Did you teach them? Did you? How come you don't know that? You're not supposed to be living a promiscuous life. Did you sit down and have a conversation with your child? Stop assuming things that your children should know. It doesn't jump on them from anywhere. You must be responsible from inculcating the knowledge you want your child to know. Take responsibility. And most times we blame the teachers. You're not doing your job. I have paid school fees. You are paid school fees, and so what? Where is your responsibility as a father and even as a parent? Take responsibility of what you want your child to learn. Take responsibility. Stop leaving the teaching of your child, the inculcating of values, to the mothers and the teachers. You have a pivotal role in the development and in the outcome of your child as a father. You have responsibility. You have been set in the aim of affairs over your family. Stop leaving the teaching to just the mothers and the teachers. Wake up. It has to be an awakening. It has to be an awakening. Child. You know, the Rechabite said something. He said when we offered them wine, they said that we cannot take this wine because we were commanded by our fathers not to. We were commanded by our fathers not to live in tents. What will your children say you have taught them? What positive things will they say? And they remember, and that keeps them going. Take responsibility for what you want your child to learn. Take responsibility of teaching your children what you want them to learn. Teach. I said teach, not yell and be shouting. Sometimes you think you are teaching your child, but you're talking over their heads. They are not listening to you. Sit down, calm down, cool temper, and have conversations with your children, especially when you have preteens and teenagers. Even the younger ones these days, they grow so fast that you need to even have conversations with them. It is so critical. Now, when you truly teach, let me say some things. When you truly teach, there are certain things that serves as, let's say, some indices. Number one, when you truly teach, hears. I'm not talking of just listen. They hear what you have said. Most times you feel you have taught your children, but they did not hear anything. And you're wondering, but I've been saying this thing. You have not taught them. They have not heard. Probably because of the way you said it. Probably because of the atmosphere in which you said it. Probably because of the mannerism. Probably because you don't have connection with your children, so they can't even hear you. When you truly teach, one hears. When you truly teach, one understands. So don't just think you are teaching and your child does not understand what you are saying. Then you have not been taught. The teaching is not complete. It's not. So when you teach, one understands. It is very critical. When you teach, one can make informed decisions. When you teach, one can make informed decisions from what you have taught. Now, when you're raising children and they cannot even make decisions for themselves, it shows you have not taught them anything. Your parenting is tested in your absence, not when you are there. Your children can do anything when you are there. They can do anything to please you. If you really know that your parenting journey is paying off, when you are not there, what can your children do? What decisions can they make? Or they always call you, Mommy, what do you think? Mommy, what should I do? Daddy, what should I do? It is time for us to take responsibility. When you truly teach, one can do. And teaching has to be consistent. Has to be consistent. Very consistent. You don't have a right to discipline a child you have not taught and have not given it time to understand what you have taught. Most times we just give random punishment, you just slap the child. Have I not told you to do that? You don't have that right. Have you taught the child? Have you given the child the time to understand what you have taught? Have you given the child the opportunity to process what you have taught? Teaching. When you truly teach, one hears. When you truly teach, one understands. When you truly teach, one can make informed decisions from what you have taught. When you truly teach, one can do. One can do. Assuming, I said that, a child knows is low and irresponsibility as a parent. Stop assuming. You should know it now. Have you taught? I've talked about being a provider. I've talked about being a leader. I've talked about being a protector. I've talked about being a teacher. And I'm going to talk about being a helper. As a father, you are a helper. Now, we know we always say that the woman is the helpmate. Fine. The woman is the helpmate to the husband to support. But I'm saying as a father, you are a helper. Yourself, you are a helper. Now, voluntarily look for ways to serve your child. You should not only be served by your children, you should serve your children. Yes. And what are the ways in which you can serve your child? You can take them to school service. You attend PTA meeting is service. You go for their games is service. You are there when they're crying, a shoulder to lean on is service. You cook some meals for them is service. When they're sick, you stay by their bed. It's part of service. So as a father, you are a helper. Voluntarily look for ways you can serve your children. And those moments bring about connection. Most fathers are seen as the I am mighty in the house, the Alpha and the Omega, and nobody can talk to them. It's a terrible place to be in as a father. Terrible. You are not the Alpha and the Omega. God is the Alpha and the Omega. That when you show your children, they can't even behold you. Who can behold your glory as a father? Your glory is too much now. But you cannot impact your children in that way. You can't. You can't. There's a lot of things that you need to pour into your children. And if you don't come down from your high horse, you will not be able to pour. You have a responsibility to pour. You have a responsibility to be a connection, to release into your children. And you must be ready to do that. Ready. You must be ready to do that. It is so critical that as a father, you must wake up to your responsibility. There's so many women carrying the job of both a father and a mother, and it doesn't work. There are some aspects that fathers need to contribute. There's a conversation we had a while ago. It takes two to parents, not one person. And that is why we always advocate, even if you're a single parent, as a mother, look for a father figure for your children. There is something in the word of a father to a child. If you even look at the Bible, it said when was it Isaac wanted to bless his children, they didn't go to the mother to take the blessing. They went to the father. Even the mother tried to make a way so that Jacob gets it. She knew she could not release the blessing. Esau was almost crying because he knew he had lost it. And the blessing was in words. Words. You must wake up. Fathers must arise in our society. We must arise. It is so critical. We must arise. You are not the... You understand? Your family. Nobody can talk to you. You are not approachable. You're not accessible. How can you make a difference in the life of your child? When parenting or father is about inspiration and influence, how can you make a difference? I said when I started that everybody can have a child. Every man, or most likely every man, apart from maybe those that have health challenges, can have a child. But does that make you a father? It is beyond biology. It goes to the point of inspiration and influence. Are you truly a father? Not based on biology, but influence and inspiration you are giving to your children. Mark yourself by yourself, or let your children score. You know, sometimes and sit down in your home and have what is called family meeting. In that meeting, be prepared to hear anything, and make them understand that they are well able to say anything. Don't just come with the answer, it's family meeting, but in your heart of hearts, you are putting the demeanor that nobody should say anything that will offend me, nobody should say anything that is not right. Have a family meeting, calm down. Ask your children, ask your wife to say some things about you. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. Give them access. Give them access. You have young ones, you have toddlers. Roll on the floor with them. It doesn't take anything from you. And begin to say, don't you know I'm the man of this house? We know. If you have to say it, or don't you know I'm the father in this house? If you have to say it over and over again, that means you are forgetting that you are. That means you have something to prove. That means there is something wrong. You are. And like I said, it's not a title. It's beyond title. It is responsibility. It's you taking the lead. It's you being a provider, a protector, a teacher, a leader. The Lord, a helper, a helper. As a father, you are a helper. You have the responsibility. When God called Adam, he told Adam to take care of the garden, to till and to work. When he brought Eve, he brought her as helpmate. Help him to achieve all the work I've given you to do. You have respect to do all the work. Your wife is a supporter. Wake up. Don't kill them before their time. Critical. Let us arise. Fathers, let us arise. The reason why we have immature sons today, or baby fathers, in quotes, what do I mean? Fathers that do not even understand the concept of fatherhood, is because we have had failed fathers. We're having sons today that they don't even know anything. They can't take responsibility. All they think about is going out, just gyrating, and when they say come out, they don't understand what it means to be a father, because we have failed in transmitting or transferring values to our children. It's beyond the education of a child. It's beyond a child answering your name. What is your contribution to the life of that child? What is your contribution to your society, your community, your generation in raising that child? I said something in a conversation that we are to be contributors and not just consumers. And I said something in this conversation. Your child is not a means to an end. It's not. You now have a daughter and say, hey, thank God, oh, is a walking stick. Well, is it one walking stick? Hey, the in-laws, maybe time. Your child is not a means to an end. It's not. As a father, you are an encourager. You are an encourager. Be their greatest cheerleader. So when your child is looking, say, your child is excited because he wants you around, because he knows that even when he falls, you are there telling the child that you can do it. You can be better. Not be critical, not be judgmental, not saying any good thing you see in your child. There is something good in every child. You have not seen it. You have not looked. That's why you don't see it. The reason why you don't have anything to say good about your child is because you have not looked. There is no child that is 100% evil or 100%. God has created us good in his image and in his likeness. Every child is good. They have good in them. Be your child's greatest cheerleader. When they're looking for somebody to encourage them, let's be the one they run to. You know, children are looking for people to talk to, looking for people to encourage them, and they're looking outside their house. And I'm wondering, what is wrong with our parenting? What is wrong? Our children cannot approach us. Our children cannot confide in us. Our children cannot talk to us. What is wrong? Your sons cannot come to you and have a conversation. You don't even know what is happening in their life. You don't even know what developmental stage they are in. You don't know what they are going through. You can't even have conversations with them. You can't have sex education conversations with them. You don't even know what they are going through. You don't even know if they are using drugs. You don't even know what kind of friends they keep. You don't know where the places they go to. No conversations. Strangers in a house. But the only thing they call you father, and you are satisfied. You're satisfied. The responsibility God has placed in your hand as a father is huge, is humongous. You cannot afford to fail. You're an encourager. Appreciate the little wins and motivate your children to greater success. Appreciate the little wins. You know, I don't know if you have seen the movie Aquila and the Bee. If you have, there was a boy in that movie that had a father that I think he had gone through the spelling bee competition before and he came out second. I can't remember if it's one or twice. And this particular competition, that edition of the competition in the movie, was the last chance he had to be able to take the first position. And I wondered, the boy did not have a life anymore. The father was so critical. You have to do better. You have to do this. The win was for the father, not even the boy. Not even the boy. A means to an end, a bragging right. You are pressurizing your children to get terrible things, putting them in the line which God has not called them because you just want bragging rights. Who bragging rights help now? Who? And he pushed the child, separated the child. The child could not even have a childhood because he just wanted first position. First position. Let us wake up as fathers. You are critical in the identity formation of your child. I said that. Mecca said that. You play a huge role in the identity formation of your child. Be an encourager. Now, a man, as a father, you are a man that understands how to use the tool of friendship in parenting. You understand how to use the tool of friendship in parenting. So you understand how to connect with your children. Now, it's not only the sons. You have to connect with your daughters. If you go back, listen to the conversation with Reverend Chima Ochema, we'll talk about the father-daughter bond. It is critical. It is critical. Every daughter needs to have a healthy self-esteem. And it comes a lot from the relationship with their fathers. Every son needs to be taught self-control. And it comes a lot with their relationship with their fathers. So you have to be able to understand the use of the tool friendship in your parenting journey. That is who a father is. You're not a friend to your child. You're able to use the tool of friendship. You're a father. But you have to understand how to connect with your children. How can you make a difference in the life of someone you don't even connect with? You're telling your children, instructing them, and they're looking at you, laughing at you. How can you be telling me these things? Do you have a relationship? Our relationship is not that you get back to me and I bear your name. Apart from that, nothing. Some children will even drop your name. They will go to court and say they don't want to answer your name. And what happens after that? What happens? You must have connection with your children. Build deliberate time to have conversations. Some of you may not have that connection. You can start it today. And let me tell you, you may have resistance from your children, especially your preteens and teenagers. They may not be interested. But that does not mean you should give up. You must press. One thing that is so valuable is the relationship you have with your children. I never really had a very good relationship with my father. I tried to build it up when I entered into the university. I tried to work on it, and gradually we had, but it wasn't that kind of tight relationship. And I wish I had one. And that is why I appreciate my husband so much. When you see him with our daughter, you wonder, because there is an understanding, there is a place of connection with your children. Don't just leave the mother and say, go and meet your mother now. Go and meet your mother now. The child comes to you for attention. Go and meet your mother now. What is this woman said? Come and carry the child. Come and carry the baby. Some of you cannot carry babies. Come and carry the baby. So, the baby has school. What is it? Build connection with your children. I said something that when God made the woman, He told the woman to come and help the man. He has given the man all the work. The woman was to support. So you should be the one changing the diapers. The woman was supposed to change diapers. Are we learning anything today? If you are learning something, I want to see some things on the comment section. I've been talking a lot. Yes, if you're learning anything, I want to know that you are with me. If you're learning anything, I've been saying a lot in this conversation. I will still be rounding up this conversation. If you have fathers around you, after now, send them the link. Tell them to go to School of Parenting, SOP, and watch. And watch. And watch. It is very critical. Thank you everyone for that. I can see Reverend Omeriawa Ego. Thank you, Omo Evi, for joining. Thank you, Steph, TJ Tuko. Thank you, Reverend Osagadua Cynthia. Happy birthday, Ma. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. Now, as a father, you're a father to many. You have your children, but you're also a father to others. Don't just be a father to your children, be a father to others. Be an inspiration to many. Be a positive influence to many. You love your child, most likely more, but be an influence to others. You're a father to many. Abraham was father of many nations. So your fatherhood should go beyond the 4 walls of your family. You know, we're talking about fatherhood. Let's talk about fatherhood. So you are a father. Let it go. Don't just say, I'm a father to my own child. Oh, it doesn't concern me. Oh, you may be maybe you're working in a place that you have young people working with you. Father them. Find a way to connect with them. Leave a lasting imprint on their lives. What will you be remembered for now? Is it about the cars you buy or the houses you build? What will you be remembered for? The impact you leave in the lives of people will never forget. The lasting impact and impression you made in their lives. Be a father to many. Be a priest and a prophet. A father is a priest and a prophet. Your ear should be close to the mouth of God. Lead your family to experience God. Alexander Amushe said something in the last conversation. He said the word of God for you as a father is the culture for you, for your family. What is God saying to you for the now, for your family? You are the one that gives the direction in your home. You are the one that charts the course as led by God. If you're not hearing anything, you lead everybody to disaster. You are a priest, you are a prophet. A prophet speaks the will of God. You are the one that speaks the word of God to your family. Some of us just like that say the woman should pray. Wake up. She's your support. You have to wake up. What are you hearing? You have to give direction. You're the one in the steering wheel. God is driving, using you to drive that wheel. Do you even know where you're going to? Do you know the direction? Do you even know how to chart the course? If you do not know, then you will lead everybody to a ditch. The blind leading the blind. Point your family to God. Point them to God. Point them. You know, Abraham heard that he should leave his father's house and move to the promised land. He heard. And he took steps and he took his family. If you do not hear as a father, you make just some kind of decisions and you land your family in a mess. So you just live your life based on what is happening in the community. Okay, this is what is raining. Oh. Okay, let us move. Oh. Okay, let us do this. Oh. Let us jackpot. Let us do. I'm not saying jackpot is bad. Oh. Everybody can go. But sometimes we need to sit down and hear. A lot of fathers have put their family, their wives, their children in a mess because they could not even chart the course. They didn't even know where they were going to. You're doing trial by error. You can't do trial by error with your wife and your children, with human lives. You can't. It's too risky. It's too critical. You may not have a second opportunity to father the child you are fathering. You may not have. Use the opportunity well and do it well. Time is going. You become old soon. You may not have the opportunity to have that toddler, or have that preschooler, to have that preteen. You may not have that opportunity again. Make the best of the opportunity you have with your children now. Make the best. I'm going to be rounding up with some statistics of fatherless homes. Now, when I talk about fatherless homes, I see it as homes where there are no fathers and homes where there are absent present fathers. Some of us are in the household, but we are absent. We're not there. We're just marking present. I slept in my house. Present. I'm just dead so that they will see I'm here. Fatherless homes. Homes that there are no fathers at all. Probably the fathers abandoned the mothers. There are no fathers. Or homes where there are absent present fathers. You should be a present father. Present father. Now, what are the statistics? Now, I'm going to read the statistics quickly so we can round up this conversation. 63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes. This will get us thinking. 85% of all children that exhibit behavioral disorders are from fatherless homes. 80% of rapists motivated with displaced anger come from fatherless homes. 71% of pregnant teenagers lack a father. You see what we're doing to our society? We're complaining, the government did this. Let us look into our families. Are we doing the right thing? Are we? The society is made up of the family. The family is the building block of the society. What are we doing in our families? 70% of juveniles in state-operated institutions come from fatherless homes. Fatherless children are more likely to have children outside marriage. They are more likely to smoke and drink alcohol. They are more likely to drop out of school. They are 5 times more likely to be poor. Do you know there's a connection between a relationship with a father and their performance in academics? There are researchers like that. That children that have good relationship with their fathers perform better in academics. I even saw in research that girls that have good relationship with their fathers perform better or do well in mathematics. Knowledge is critical. Infants from fatherless homes are 4 times more likely to be extremely preterm. Boys from fatherless homes are at higher risk of becoming overweight. A majority of gang members come from father-absent homes. These statistics suggest a strong correlation between the absence of fathers and negative life outcomes for children. Statistics don't lie. Don't. So we need to tell ourselves that we do some things differently. You do a good to someone, a father to be, a husband, a young boy that we marry, that is in marriageable age, by recommending that they go to School of Parenting SOP, School of Parenting SOP, Facebook, and watch these conversations we have had this June on fatherhood. It will change a life. It will. And like I said, if we have questions from any of the conversation we had, building a father-bond relationship, maintaining your health as a father, parenting your children in this digital age, and fathering through the heart of the father, and today we're talking about fatherhood, send me a DM. We will try to answer your questions. We'll do our best. So it's so critical. I've said a whole lot in this conversation, and I have to end this conversation. Our time is up. A whole lot. And I believe we have learned something. A lot. You don't want to raise children that regret having you as their father. Children that wish that they had better relationships with their father. Children that wish that... Or say, how did I even come into this family safe? You want to have a healthy relationship with your children. The memories are what will last. They're what will last. Now, I'm going to quote something that one of our guests said in this series by Andrew Womack. He said, it is more difficult to raise a child than to raise the dead. It is more difficult to raise a child than to raise the dead. So parenting requires a lot of intentionality. It requires a lot of sacrifice. I said something that convenience is not in the vocabulary of parenthood, but intentionality and sacrifice. Let us have a shift. Let us stand today and decide to be different and parent better. You may fall short, you may fail. Dust yourself up and start again. You may not have a relationship with your child now. Start building one. It is possible. It is possible. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Omo Evi. Thank you. I can see that. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining for this conversation. Finally, we have climaxed celebrating our fathers in this month of June. And in this July also, happy new month, everyone. This is July. Welcome to the second half of the year. Now, by the last Monday of this July, we're going to have another conversation. Yes, we're going to see the details of the conversation soon. So let us watch out for the details of the next conversation. But I'm so grateful that we are able to celebrate our fathers throughout the month of June. And if you have missed any conversation, please go back and watch them. They are there. Knowledge is everywhere. Your children are not looking for knowledge anymore. The internet is there. They can Google anything and find answers. But the truth is that you need to have wisdom. If you do not have knowledge, how will you even have wisdom? So you need to have wisdom so that you can be able to answer questions of your children. Wake up, parents. Thank you, everyone, for joining me on this conversation. I'm excited for giving your time, for being here. Like I said, share the link with your friends, your loved ones, your family. They can go back and watch all the conversations we have had on celebrating our fathers. And I'll say, God bless you, fathers. Thank you so much for being fathers. Thank you. I'm sure I've broken some tables today. I'm sure I've shaken some tables. But please don't be offended. We just need to move in our parenting journey. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Look forward to the next conversation we're going to be having on the last Monday of this month. I pray that throughout this month, it shall be an amazing parenting journey for you. You have the grace to take actions, relevant actions, intentional actions to have a successful parenting journey. And you have results. Please, when you have testimonies, if you carry out some of the actions and you have testimonies, please do share with me. Do send a DM so that we can know that what we're doing on this platform, we're not wasting time. We're actually investing in life. So you have testimonies, you have struggles, please send a DM. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thank you, Amarashi Ushegba. I can see you. Thank you, everyone. I saw Samuel Oko. Thank you for joining me on this conversation today. So it's going to be bye from me now. So see you in the next SOP Online conversation. Bye.